Smash the like button if you would like to see me and Elon Musk run that fade, because he turned out to be a weirdo, two-faced individual who turned on me. This is the same man who ducked out on running the fade with Mark Zuckerberg.
By the way, I knew we couldn't trust Elon Musk. So let's talk about the World Wrestling Federation Money in the Bank match. The first match, the female Money in the Bank match. So for the past 4 months, who has been the most underrated female on this roster? I'm going to say it's Naomi. Naomi, this has been her best run of her whole entire career. Listen, this female is a great heel. In fact, listen to this. Naomi is a better heel than Sasha Banks. Let that sink in. Yes, in the year of 2025, Naomi is a better heel than Sasha Banks. And that is facts on mother effing facts. So, who was my choice to win this match? It was Naomi. Naomi won this match, and rightfully so. Now, the easy choice was Rhea Ripley, but I like how they chose Naomi to win this match. Also, she was the best female in this match, performance-wise. You see, this was great booking. Whoever is the hottest female in this match, I'm talking about run-wise, I'm talking about booking-wise, it's Naomi. Naomi has been the best female for the past 4 months on this roster. So Naomi deserved this win. This female has been making Jade Cargill look good. People want to see Naomi get her ass kicked, and that's a great sign of a very good heel. But I must say this, super thick Roxanne Perez, that female is going to have a great career on the main roster. That female reminds me of the early Alexa Bliss. I would say the biggest highlight of this whole entire match was I seen 2 code reds by Roxanne Perez and Alexa Bliss. I think Roxanne, she did it on sexy ass Stephanie V on the ladder. And then Alexa Bliss did a code red on Naomi. That was great shit. Also, this might be the best time to have an all-female pay-per-view, because this main roster is very deep with great female fake pro wrestlers. Also, in NXT, they also have a very deep female division. I would say 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that was a bad idea to have an all-female pay-per-view, because that roster was not deep. That's why that all-female pay-per-view failed. So what is my grade for this match? I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Naomi was a great choice to win this match. Now, let's talk about the next match. Dirty ass Dominic Guerrero versus Octagon for the IC Heavyweight Championship. Now, I don't know who Octagon Jr. is, but that's a good thing, because the World Wrestling Federation bought out AAA. So that means they can put unknown guys that most of the world of fake pro wrestling don't know. For example, I don't know who Octagon Jr. is, but at least he has a big platform. This is Money in the Bank. Hold on. This guy will go down as the first ever AAA fake pro wrestler to appear on a WWE pay-per-view. That's crazy. That's history. So yes, that was a great thing that the World Wrestling Federation bought out AAA. So what is my grade for this match? I will give it a 6.5 out of 10, because this match was not that long, but this match was very solid. Let this sink in. I believe that Dirty Ass Dominic, he might be the closest thing to Eddie G. This man does not wrestle like his stepfather. I'm talking about Rey Mysterio, that deadbeat stepfather. He wrestles nothing like Rey Mysterio. This man, he wrestles like Eddie G, his biological father, Eddie G. For years, fake pro wrestling fans have been searching for the next Eddie G, and we found it. It is Dirty Ass Dominic. At first, I thought Angel Garza was going to become the next Eddie G, but for some strange reason, they don't want to push him as a singles guy. But this was a very solid match. This was a great showcase for Octagon Jr. And no, this match was not meant to be long. This was nothing more than a showcase match for Octagon Jr. in AAA. Dirty ass Dominic, he beat Octagon Jr. with an Eddie G frog splash, 1, 2, 3, let's go home. Dirty ass Dominic is going to have a great run as the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Also, we still don't know who's under that mask. I'm talking about El Grande Americano. That might be Essa Rios. What if? What if that's Essa Rios under that mask? Hell, what if it's Austin Aries under that mask? You never know. You need to have an open mind. There's so many possibilities. What if it's Enzo Amore under that mask? Like I said, this is a great character, a great gimmick. So let's talk about the next match. Becky Lynch versus Lyra for the females Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I gotta be honest, man. I don't care about none of these two females in this match. But what is my grade for this match? I will give it a 6 out of 10. Listen, Becky Lynch doesn't have great matches. She was never a great fake pro wrestler. I don't get it. What is the big deal about Becky Lynch? I feel like Miss Flair is a better fake pro wrestler than Becky Lynch. I feel like super thick Bayley is also a better fake pro wrestler than Becky Lynch. Why? Because she wrestles like a brawler. That's what she is. In reality, she wrestles like a brawler. Also, what are my thoughts about Lyra as a fake pro wrestler? Like I said, this female needs to change her gimmick. I don't like her gimmick, her character. This female reminds me of Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster. I don't like those wings. What is she wearing? This is 2025, man. We don't want to see that. Lyra is not interesting at all. She's boring. She doesn't have a lot of charisma. She needs a gimmick change. I just don't see the fans of the World Wrestling Federation gravitating towards Lyra. I don't see it. In fact, did she leave NXT too early? That's a bigger question because I don't think she's ready to be on the main roster. She needs a lot more work on her gimmick, on her character, because she has no character. She is nothing more than a female who wears wings. Now, was this the right decision to have Becky Lynch beat Lyra for the female Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship? Yes, this was the best move. Here's why. Now, that championship has more eyes now. More fans will care about the female Intercontinental Championship. I gotta be honest, I forgot that championship was on the main roster. Let that sink in. That's why Lyra is not ready to be on the main roster, because I forgot she was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, because nobody cares about it based on the female wearing that championship. So this was a great move to put it on Becky Lynch. People care about Becky Lynch more than Lyra. So Becky will put that belt over. So how did Becky Lynch beat Lyra for that championship? She beat her with a fruit roll-up, which means most likely they might run it back. Hopefully not. Lyra needs to go into the back of the line. You lost fair and square. Now, don't get me wrong. Lyra is a very attractive female. I'm not taking that away from her. But as a fake pro wrestler, her gimmick, her character, she needs a reset. Now, let's talk about the next match, the men's Money in the Bank match with Andrade, Seth, Solo, and a cosplay, Penta, and my guy, El Grande Americano. So, which man had the best performance in this match? I'm going to say Penta. Penta had the best performance in this match. A close second might be Andrade. Alright, so Jeff Cobb and Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker and big ass Bronson Reed, they interfered in this match as expected. I must say, Jacob Fatu, his star is growing every week. I think they might book Braun Breaker versus Jigga Fatu at SummerSlam. That's going to be a great match. But I can't believe Jigga Fatu turned on Solo Sikoa. He said, "I hate you, Solo." For the past couple of months, man, this man used to say, "I love you, Solo." Man, I can't believe he turned on Solo Sikoa in the biggest match of his life. That's crazy ass stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, fuck LA Cosplay. He cost El Grande the match. This man backdropped El Grande off the ladder. He nearly broke him in half. Man, I do not like LA Cosplay. El Grande almost had to win. It was perfect because that coward Vikingo was in the front row, right? So just imagine if El Grande won the match. He would have called out and cashed in on Vikingo for the AAA Heavyweight Championship. But LA Cosplay ruined it. El Grande could have made history on cashing in on a non-World Wrestling Federation championship. Just imagine if El Grande cashed in on the AAA World Heavyweight Championship. That would have put AAA on the map. A World Wrestling Federation superstar cashing in on the AAA World Heavyweight Championship. El Grande was my choice to win this match, but my second choice was actually Seth Freaky Rollins. So in hindsight, I'm glad that at least one of my choices won this match. Hell, anybody but LA Cosplay. I was scared, right? Because this match was in LA. LA Cosplay lives in LA. So I thought that Paul Levesque was going to give him the hometown treatment by giving this man the Money in the Bank briefcase because his name is LA and this match was in LA. So I was scared because it made sense. But I'm glad that Paul Levesque made the right choice. Either Seth or El Grande, but anybody but LA Cosplay. I told you people, he would be an awful choice to win this match. He's not World Heavyweight Championship material. But part of that don't you understand? Listen, bruh, make up your mind. I thought you said you want Paul Levesque to push younger talent. LA Cosplay is 40-something years old, bruh. Make up your fucking mind. You pick and choose who you want to root for. That's not how that works. At the end of the motherfucking day, he's over 40-something years old. We can't keep giving world championships to guys that are over 40-something years old. Let's take a break from that. Let's start pushing younger talent. Listen, at the end of the mother effing day, at least Seth Freaky Rollins is still younger than LA Cosplay. That is all that matters. My grade for this match, it is a 7 out of 10. This was a very solid ass match. Now, let's move on to the next match. John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in a tag team match, player. Also, that was a great small detail by Jey Uso. This man wore the same colors as Cody Rhodes. That was great detail. That's how you know a tag team is on the same page. If both men wear the same colors. That was great detail. Now, what was the biggest highlight of this match? It was Logan Paul grabbing his drone, and then Cody Rhodes gave him a superplex while still holding on to that drone. That was great shit because it gave you great insight on what these fake pro wrestlers go through. That camera angle gave you an experience on how it feels to be superplexed off the top rope. So that was a great spot. Also, the second biggest highlight of this whole entire match was when Logan Paul did a lion salt through a table, the announcer table. I don't know how he even got there. This man is super athletic. Man, he has crazy aim. Even Chris Jericho can't do that. There's not a lot of guys on this roster that can pull that off. I call it an apron lion salt through the announcer table. This man has crazy range. Oh yeah, by the way, I hope you crybabies are happy. It looks like they brought back R-Truth. So yes, you can stop crying. R-Truth interfered in this match by attacking John Cena, and then Cody Rhodes took advantage and gave John Cena a crossroads. 1, 2, 3, let's go home. Now, what is my grade for this match? I will give it a 6.5 out of 10, and I will give this whole entire show a 7 out of 10. What are my thoughts about Ron Killings being brought back by the World Wrestling Federation? It was bound to happen because his release, it had too much outrage. So Paul Levesque, he doesn't want to look bad like Vince McMahon, so that's why he brought back Ron Killings to the company. Also, this was the right move because you have to capitalize on the fact that R-Truth, he's now mega over. Why not take advantage? Because ever since his feud with John Cena, this man has been over with that audience. So why not bring him back? I co-sign this decision to bring back Ron the Truth Killings. Do I believe that this was a work? Hell no, this was not a work. This was damage control from the Backlash. That's why they brought him back. This was no work. Listen, if you're dumb enough to say that this was a work, okay, by that same logic, Carlito was a work. Where's he at? He was not on Raw last week. So once again, let me ask you one more time. Was Carlito a work? Because Carlito would like to know. Paul Levesque brought this guy back because he didn't like the backlash that he was receiving. That's why they brought him.